But tell them to get on that electric first.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do everything, basically. We might have to put some porta potties there for a while, because we have to close off their entire bathrooms to work.
Maybe they can work on one half, close it down.
Yeah, make a unisex, that's true.
Because, I mean, you're fixing to start getting into your busy signal.
Yes.
Season over there.
Is this the only,
Signal.
is this the only portion of that park that was needing renovating? I mean, there was some mention of picnic tables and different things, all that
Those-
stuff.
Canopies all need renovation too.
Oh, yeah, each single one, but there's a
Did we
lot,
not
Commissioner.
put
I
it
made
in
a
there?
count, and we checked each one. They all, to some degree, have some
Mm-hmm.
kind of issue with the roof part of each of those pavilions, if you want to call them. I don't know, picnic tables with the covers, yeah.
Okay.
But, I
That's
mean-
gonna be another phase.
Yes, sir, unfortunately. The bathroom is in dire need, dire need.
Pleasure of the board.
Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries.
Item 6, inform the board that Mark and I attended FDOT Local Agency Transportation Symposium on Tuesday, January 10th. Very informative event that discussed their, here we go, SCOP, SCRAP, SIGP, TRIP, SUN, LAP, TAP, and SRTS programs. Whew. And I know what each one means, believe it or not. And Mark and Alan both agree that I should become LAP certified, as Mark is the only certified staff member in the county. However, the only LAP workshop for 2017, which is part of the certification process, is the same day as the next regular meeting on February 7th. If the board has no objections, I will attend the workshop. Alan will be here for that meeting. In addition, FDOT will attend your February 21st meeting to make a presentation and answer questions regarding their programs. So I just want to make sure you guys are cool with me going there and Alan covering the next meeting.
Pleasure of the board.
I make a motion to allow Michael to be at the LAP certification meeting or whatever on the 7th of February, and Alan can be taking his place, and then welcome DOT here on February 21st.
With open arms.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question, Chairman. Is, for this certification, is that one event all you'd have to attend to do it, or is it?
No, I think you have to gather hours like how you commissioners do it, if I'm not mistaken, that is. But they only offer that particular, once a year.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Okay, that's good.
We're the only agency in Franklin County that's LAP certified though. And all your cities, the city of Apalachicola, the city of Carabel has to come to the county to do all the LAP.
Okay, we administered Carabel's
Yeah, we
last
actually,
project,
I-
right?
actually, Commissioner, where's that bike path? Did we ever get built?
It's on the agenda for 2020, I think, for P and E,
Okay.
2019, 2020, for P and E.
Mr. Jones, the DOT program is, it allows us to have a little more, not a great deal more flexibility on some of these state grants. We are what we call LAP certified, I mean, we have some, we have shown to DOT standards that we are competent and able to make certain decisions. So we're certified to implement some of their programs for us, or at least one particular program. But it's getting more and more complicated. That's why the city of Apalachicola and the city of Carabel have both dropped out. So if they want to do a LAP program, then they have to ask us to do it. And we've been doing it for free for them. But as you see, there's a cost because it takes time, staff time.
We're gonna have to start charging.
Okay.
So we did vote on that one? Or we just had a motion and a second?
I don't.
Motion and a second, yeah.
Motion second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries.
Item number 7, board action to authorize a change in the county's vacation leave payout policy. Currently, the county allows for up to 1 week of payout. The request is to allow for up to 2 weeks of vacation leave payout, subject to funding availability within the department's budget. The county will not transfer any funds into the department's budget at the end of the leave year to fund this request. There are actually a handful of people that actually lose leave because, you know, of their schedule and what they do, that if they could, they would quickly buy it out, you know, rather than losing it every year. So, and honestly, commissioners, I'm one of them. I'll be very honest with you all. So there will be no transfer of funds or anything like that to make it up.
Second.
There's not, it's not.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion?
Well, they do a lot of extra work and they keep on time, though. You work on the weekends and all that, when we told them.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Uh-huh.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And Michael, I got a thing for the board real fast. And, when we lose someone, we've been paying, get 3 days off. And Marshall's office only one that has grandparents in it, the rest of ours don't. We need to put grandparents in it.
Our bereavement policy does
Bereavement
not
policy?
have grandparents in it, and it actually came to light to me.
I thought it had
No,
grandparents.
ours don't, Marshall
No.
does. We need to put that in ours. We have grandparents that start at June the 1st, this month, and start it, cause we don't have grandparents. A lot of grandparents raises their
Oh, yeah.
grandkids, and we don't have it. Marshall's office has got it, we don't have it.
Yeah, I was surprised. It came to light because one of our staff members, her grandmother passed away, and I thought she had to leave, and I told her, and I was informed by the finance office that it was brought to the board years and years ago, and they never took any action, so it's not in the board's bereavement leave policy.
So we need a board directing the attorney to correct that, if it's the pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion that we direct the attorney to look at the policy, personnel policy on bereavement leave and add grandparents to that. I know when I came on board, they only had the mother and the father, and we added the mother-in-law, father-in-law thing to it. So anyway, that's my
Second.
motion.
We have a-
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
We're almost there, Commissioner. See the light at the end of the tunnel. Item 8, inform the board that Ms. Roxy Allen is planning to retire in May. I will advertise for the vacant position. Ms. Allen's retirement will be official in early May, but she'll be out of the office sometime in March, depending when she calculates her leave with the finance office. I will advertise in-house for 14 days based on our policy and procedures. If the position is still vacant, then I'll run an ad in the local newspaper. Item 9, I received an email from FAC requesting updated contact information for Franklin County's director and alternate on the Gulf Consortium. Currently, Commissioner Sanders is director and Mr. Pierce is alternate. Is the board interested in changing the alternate at this time?
Is the board interested in changing the alternate or the director?
No,
No, you're putting words in my report, Commissioner. I didn't ask anything about the director, just the
Y'all,
alternate.
hey, Commissioner Jones whittled me into that other than last meeting, man.
I'm not stopping that.
So if you want to add another commissioner as the alternate, or leave Alan there while he's restore coordinator, it's up to you.
What you want to do, Alan?
I haven't been in the consortium meeting, and Commissioner Sanders and I talked about this a couple of times. You know, at this point, the consortium, I hate to say this, but I will, it's sort of a waste of time at this
It
point,
is.
the consortium meetings, because there's nothing to be gained. The governor hasn't acted on any draft plan.
No.
You know, and we're all sitting in neutral. We have the consortium continues to meet, their consultants continue to rate billable hours, but, so I don't mind staying. I haven't been to a meeting in 3 years because there's a lot
nothing
of infighting,
changed.
there's nothing to get done down
There's nothing to change.
there.
I would like to have somebody else on there like Michael though, if you don't want to do it, Alan.
Well,
But
that's
have
fine. I
Michael
mean-
on there, because they're trying to set up the meetings when we have our conferences anyway.
Yes.
And if something happens, because a lot of times after I spend 5 or 6 days down there, or 4 or 5 days down there, there's things that I have back at home I need to take care of and all. So if we've got it between myself and Michael, then we can coordinate, you know.
And it doesn't matter. You know, it's fine, me not being.
But and I'm trying to be, very positive about this, but some of the items that we're talking about now, we've been talking about them for 3 years with the consortium, so.
I mean, I'm still involved with the consortium to this extent. As long as I'm the restore coordinator, they're calling me as the restore coordinator to talk about projects, not me as an alternate.
And we need to have you as restore, and then alternate between myself and Michael.
If I can just add to that, the very issue. So, there is I'm gonna be on a teleconference on Thursday with the consortium consultants, asking about any updates from the county's plans, or what we submitted as projects. And just to remind the board of this, we submitted projects that we want to spend our share of consortium money on when we get a sort of approval. One is we prefer to use the Corps of Engineers money to dredge the East Point Channel. But if that doesn't come about, and I saw Senator Mims, Brian Mims, Senator Rubio's aide at the legislative delegation meeting, and he's checking on to see if with the change in Congress, if that money has gotten shook loose yet. So the Refuge Point Channel is an option with consortium money. Raising the 2 Mile Channel is an option with consortium money. There was some other issues, but those are the 2 big ones I remember. But the problem with the consortium money, Mr. Jones, is that it is going to come in the same way our restore money is, which is going to come in a little bit of time over 15 years. Well, you have 23 members of the consortium, so who gets theirs funded first? It's an
Should be the
unresolved
AFET
dilemma,
county.
and it's going to be a bitter battle, because some of the counties are going to want theirs first, and they're going to say, well, we got our permits for our projects first. And so I don't know where our consortium project will ever fall out.
A new EOC was one project too, Alan.
Was that a consortium project? Yes, you're right. That wasn't.
It was, but they were supposed to provide us with some planning help. And we're
I'll ask
not,
them
we're
about
not
that. We never
seeing
got
none of that.
See, that's one reason the consortium stalled. See, all this, even the planning help, I think the governor has to approve, because the governor's got to approve the state expenditure plan.
I thought they had the money for the planning stuff.
Well, they mentioned that, you're right.
They do have the money, but
Right.
we need to see them down here, and we need to go over. I looked over the plan that Pam has in place, right, or a drawing she had. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. We're gonna have
Okay.
to look at some
Well, let me ask them to help.
different ideas.
You're right, because we asked for planning grant for that.
Yeah, and they said they would help us with this, specifically the EOC.
Right, that's right.
So where are they at? I mean, that's the kind of question we need to ask them, is we're waiting on you. You're supposed to be helping us with some planning expertise here.
So, yeah, so hopefully we get that done, but until the governor is given an expenditure plan, no funds get released, and the governor has his own timeline for when he has to approve that, so who knows?
But like the other counties, we need to have this project planned and shovel-ready.
Yeah.
And right now, we don't. So if we keep
Okay.
messing around, we're never gonna have this project shovel-ready so that we can submit the first year allocation of funds to the consortium and get started on a new EOC for the county, because the one we got is really inadequate. If you live through the BP oil spill as I did at the EOC, it's very inadequate for what we need as a coastal community. Tropical storms, hurricanes, oil spills, and a host of other emergency response activities. We need a better EOC.
You're right, I forgot about the plan.
Even the state said they were gonna help us with that, aren't Commissioner? You talked to the guy from the state of.
Brian Coons.
Yeah, Brian Coons.
But it's all gotta be planned, and you gotta have architectural
Oh, don't you
scale
know, that's one
drawings and
of,
stuff.
that's one of Governor Scott's 12 issues he wants to take care of within that option.
Well, we gonna help him if he'll help us. Get one here in Franklin County. Okay, Mike, move forward.
Item 10, January 3rd, at the January 3rd
Oh,
meeting.
wait, you didn't vote to appoint him as the alternate then.
We need a motion to
Oh, I'm
appoint
sorry.
him as the
Sure
alternate.
do.
Yeah.
I was trying to vote for
Motion for Michael Fawnin.
to leave him there,
I'll
but
say.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Jones to appoint Michael Morone as alternate on the consortium board. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
see, Commissioner, if you get the consortium to move their meetings to the bucket list, then he'll be in the same place, and we can have the meeting there. At the January 3rd
Now
meeting.
you're going to Puerto Rico, you don't have to
Oh, that's
worry
right,
about
yeah,
it.
can't forget that. Commissioner Sanders inquired as to the status of a resurfacing project in County Road 67 from Highway 98 to Cricket Creek Bridge. In your agenda packet is FDOT's 5-year work program with that information. That project design money is programmed for fiscal year 2019, and the construction money is programmed for fiscal year 2021. Clay got me that information.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman? First of all, where is Cricket Creek Road? On Cricket Creek
Oh, that
Bridge?
wasn't what you-
The only bridge we've got is Crooked River Bridge
That's what they're talking about.
and Pine Log Creek.
So where did I get Cricket?
It's on the state.
It's on an email I got it from somewhere.
Ask
from the
them-
state.
It's from the state, it's on the list as Cricket Creek.
And click-
We have not gotten a
Oh.
Cricket Creek.
So I'm not the crazy one, it's the state's crazy.
It's a state.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I didn't see Clay rushing up here to bail me out either, so,
But you're talking about the first bridge, right? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, I'm afraid to tell you, yeah.
I understand.
But yeah. But anyway, and there's other information in that plan also, in their plan. I guess you can ask them that
Yeah.
a month from now, where
But
that
you
bridge
don't
is.
say nothing about it when they come down and say,
Oh.
exactly where is Cricket Creek?
That's why you would mark that.
'Cause I
that
lived-
way.
I lived here all my life.
They're like,
I've never
Mark is
heard
like, I never heard that bridge before, and I've been here forever. Item number 11, inform the board that the sheriff has provided a copy of the jail and medical inspection report. I'll forward that report to the clerk unless you guys want to see a copy of it. And finally, item 12, the Wilderness Close has submitted their year-end report, and the clerk will also get a copy of that. And that's it for me, Commissioners, unless you have something else for me.
There's something else I have.
Anybody have anything, commissioners have anything for Michael Rome?
There's no cricket creep.
I guess that's it for you, Michael. Next will be the county attorney report.
Just update to the board, the first of 2 public hearings on the Bungalows by the Bay ordinance will be scheduled to be heard on February the 7th. You will have to schedule a second meeting after that. I'm not asking you to take any action today. I just want to let you know that it will be heard on February the 7th. And then I also need some clarification from the board on your TMH action today. During the break, I was approached and someone has mentioned to me they think that the board took action to terminate the management agreement effective today. It's my understanding from the board that your action was modified to accept my advice to continue the contract through its current term and just send a notice of intent not to renew. But I want to make sure I'm clear on what the board's instructions were on that point.
It's,
I thought it was
when it
terminated.
terminate, or not the date.
Well, that's what I, right,
At
that
the-
the board would
you said
complete
you
the
had to
current
look at-
term of the, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
You say you had to look at the contract or something?
Yes, sir.
You told us about the contract.
Right, then I will come back at the next meeting, but I need to contact TMH and let them know of the board's action. I
end
want to
of the
make sure I'm
contract.
clear in my head what the board's final action was. My understanding was that the board had modified the motion in the second to take my advice to complete the term of the contract and then not renew it. But if that's not if I'm not understanding that correctly from the board, I need instructions to clarify what I am supposed to communicate to TMH.
At the end of the contract.
He said at the end of the contract.
At the end of the contract?
Yeah, but-
Okay, well, I talked to
And,
Commissioner
and
Lockett,
that's
but
the
I
only
want to bring
thing,
it up to the board.
that's the only thing that concerns me, because with both, Mr. Cooper's contract and Mr. John Graham's contract with TMH,
Right.
we never saw their contract, I never have. And with TMH, we haven't saw a contract on that either, so what if it doesn't have a termination date? What do we do then?
It does. I don't think it runs any more than maybe 1 year, possibly
Okay.
2.
But-
What I don't remember is when did it renew? That I don't know.
Yeah, but my understanding, I mean, the reason why I made a second on the motion was, my understanding was, at the end of this, whatever period we were in, then it will give them notice that they are terminated.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure I was clear on it, because I was approached during the break.
Right, Mr. Noah?
That's what
Yeah.
Okay.
But we also need to understand that when you terminate this contract, they're not coming back to us with another contract to try to manage the hospital, because we're terminating the contract. So they're gonna feel like it's a slap in the face. You can forget Mr. Cooper bringing you back anything from TMH or Align or anybody else and taking over operations of the hospital. So
Well, and-
in effect, we're killing the whole deal. I just
Okay.
wanna
What
make,
about,
I just wanna make the board aware of that.
get a copy of the contract, Mike. And get a copy of the contract.
Yes, sir. I will.
And
But
since we're still in the board meeting, right?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, I make a motion that we go out on RFQs, that's just request for qualifications of management companies for the hospital.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders. Do we have a second?
That's just to see what's out there. Request for qualifications, it's not request for proposals, it's just request for qualifications.
Qualifications
To manage the hospital.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Alan Pfeiffer, Concerned Citizens, Franklin County. Having attended the vast majority of the hospital board meetings for the last 5 years, I'm not aware that there is a end date to the agreement we have with TMH. Of course, I think before we make any decision on whether we let the thing run its course is to find out what the contract, I assume there must be a contract someplace. But the sense of the board was that they wanted to make sure they were actually seeing the actual cost of running the hospital instead of having the deferred compensation that we wind up owing TMH over $600,000 that is due and payable theoretically right now. My suggestion is maybe to go ahead and find out what the end date of the agreement is. Especially if it says something like 60 months or 36 months or something, we'd want to revisit our thinking on this. But my understanding at this point is that there's not been a renewal of the contract in years. I vaguely remember it from 4 or 5 years ago. Certainly it hasn't been brought before the county commission for renewal. And would that be the agency that would be responsible for agreeing to a employment contract?
So, Mr. Chairman, again, it has been quite some time since I last looked at this issue for the board. It seems like the last time I did look at that was when y'all were addressing that salary issue 6 or 7 months ago, because the issue at hand was whether or not the raises that were given were consistent with the contract or not. And if you'll recall, I reported back to you that those raises could not be given to that administrative staff without your prior approval. So my memory on this is about 6 months ago, but I believe that way that contract was written is the way a lot of contracts are written, that it continually and automatically renews unless you give notice of intent to terminate, which is the action that you've taken today. So whatever this current contract term is, they will be receiving the notice of intent to terminate, and when that term is concluded, then it will end. I don't believe in this contract that there is any contractual authority on behalf of the board to terminate the management agreement early. A lot of your contracts, I will build that in. I do not believe there is an early termination provision in this contract. If there is, I'll know by the end of the day, and I will send you an email and let you know. But that's my recollection as I sit here today. So I have from the board the clarification that I need to move forward. So thank you.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, I take your comments about this is a signal to TMH and to potential partners that the board is wanting to clear the deal. I look at it differently. I think the commission is now wanting to make sure that it has control of the cost of running the hospital, the true cost of running the hospital, and this is a way for the county to get greater control of how the hospital is run, what the costs are to do that, and to also understand what the package of benefits is that they're giving to 2 people and not the other 83 people. And I think that in and of itself is a wise move on y'all's part. Do appreciate the time today.
Okay. Moving on, that's all you had?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Next would be public comment. After that would be commissioner's comment. Commissioner comment?
Yeah, engineer, when you gonna be available to check them rules?
You want to leave here if you got a few minutes. If you got something we need to look at.
Well,
Right.
some of those have already been checked out, that's the good news.
I know, but I got one I wanna add.
Okay. Okay.
If you got a
Yeah,
few,
but I-
if you got a few minutes, we can go do it when you wrap up here. And we'll look at it.
Okay. And I want, I got a problem with the city of Appalachia. Got a problem with everybody, Well, what we doing, basically, we done, in District 3, we paving all the roads. And they not paving, but they coming behind, cutting them, putting pipe down. And then they tell the people that we responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want a letter wrote, and I want it to go to the mayor and the commissioner, not the people in the office, telling them we not responsible for them after them roads after we cut them. We done, they get the same tax we get, and I want to put that in form of motion.
I'll second it.
Is that just for the city of Appalachia?
I said the city of Carabel too.
Yeah,
That's including
City of
both
Carabel too,
municipalities.
if that's what happened, I mean,
And hospital.
I ain't cutting out my new ones until yet.
well, they cut
Yeah, I
a,
seen yours.
they cut a whole one side of it and
Michael
told
showed
the
me
man.
yours, that was a mess. They cut half the road in two.
They've done the same in District 4 within the city. and outside the city. In my neighborhood out there where I live, they cut a road, about a 3-foot swash through there. And they're not gonna come back paved, it's just gonna be a dirt road till the people complain to us, and we eventually have to fix them,
And-
which is what Commissioner Lockley's alluding to.
Yeah, I'm getting the call.
And it's kinda like the issue we had with East Point Water and Sewer a while back. And if you're gonna cut a county road, then make sure you got enough grant money to patch the road back to, prior condition. And we used the FDOT guidelines, I think, to establish the condition of the road and how it was to be repaired, not just throw some asphalt in the hole, because that's not gonna be sufficient.
And I went down and told them we were finna pave it, and told them to send them a list, so that if they had to put on a pipe, they could've put the pipe down, because most of them on that, they don't have to go on that line, they can go straight across. Something
The directional board, the jack and board.
all they got to do is put a pipe down
That,
and be through.
County attorney's comments on this issue?
Yeah, it's a criminal misdemeanor violation to cut our roads without a permit. We amended that ordinance 3 years ago to put some more teeth into it because of roads that were being cut in another area of the county. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to go that far unless you give me specific instructions,
But these belong to them, huh?
but we can certainly send them a letter, and, I mean, we can take it to court if you want to.
I ain't too particular about taking it, but who it belong, it belongs to the city, right?
Those are city streets, yes, sir.
Some of the roads you're talking about in your district and my district are city roads.
Yeah.
These roads outside the city that
They
are also
count.
being cut does not belong to the city.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
So I think there's a distinction that needs to be made there,
Yeah.
correct.
Mr. Schuler, and, you know,
Well, the letter would be twofold. One is, we're not paving your city streets, and you violated our ordinance, and here's a copy of the ordinance and the penalties. Don't cut our roads without getting, because they're required to get a permit like anyone else is. They don't have any special privileges. I mean, they're technically, they're just a municipal corporation. They're not even a political subdivision of the state. They don't have the same types of authorities that a county government has.
so you understand what
I'll
we're,
draft the letter and let the chairman look at it, and I'll sign it and send it on.
so we had,
The part what bothered me, they put all the blame on me. That what make me mad.
so we have a motion by Commissioner Lockley, seconded by Commissioner Sanders.
I'm out.
man,
I
And
got to
Commissioner
fix it.
William and Commissioner Jones, they all, I can't keep track of whose motion and who's
Got a
second.
motion and a second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carried. Any other commissioner comments? There being no form,
For those that have free time, our boys' basketball team is playing in tonight in East Point at 7:30, playing East Gaston. Still ranked in the state.
okay,
Took a couple of losses, but we're making it.
okay.
Go sharp. Seahawk. Seahawk.
There being no further commissioner comment, no public comment, meeting is adjourned.
Hey, habits are hard to break, Mr. Noah.
Huh?
Habits are hard to break.
Yeah.
They are hard to play.
But you know,
Gone, I can go home. Hey, William. Oh, okay, I thought it was yours. Woo, I thought it was yours.